Some shocking breaking news. ABC just announced that they're pulling Jimmy Kimmel's show indefinitely off the air after he made comments about Charlie Kirk's assassination. And FCC Chairman Brendan Carr is directly threatening ABC's broadcast license over those same comments. Now, so as not to bury the lead here, if you're wondering what those comments were that were apparently so bad as to pull Kimmel's show off the air, here you go.
We hit some new lows over the...
Hey, guys, we're going to go ahead and check out. Tyler Cohen is mad. He's sounding off. He is loudly lashing out on the right, MAGA and the right, all of them, the Benny Johnsons, the, who else, guys? Tell me, well, shoot, I can't even say Charlie Kirk anymore, and that's a shame. I'm not making fun of anybody for being killed at all. But, you know the ones, the Jack Posobiec, the Tim Pools, and everybody else that falls in line with these kind of hypocritical thinking, hypocritical moves. The fact is that Tyler Cohen is angry and he is lashing out on MAGA stooges. This is huge. They effectively, as far as I'm concerned, fired Jimmy Kimmel because he said bad things about Charlie Kirk. But when you watch, I don't know if it sounds like that. Let's go ahead and get into it.
Weekend with the MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them and doing everything they can to score political points from it. In between the finger pointing, there was grieving. On Friday, the White House flew the flags at half staff, which got some criticism. But on a human level, you can see how hard the president is taking this.
My condolences on the loss of your friend Charlie Kirk. May I ask, sir, personally, how are you holding up over the last day and a half, sir?
I think very good. And by the way, right there, you see all the trucks? They've just started construction of the new ballroom for the White House, which is something they've been trying to get, as you know, for about 150 years. And it's going to be a beauty.
Yes. He's at the fourth stage of grief, construction. Demolition, construction. This is not how an adult grieves the murder of someone he called a friend. This is how a 4-year-old mourns a goldfish, okay?
That's it. That's what got ABC to capitulate and the FCC to threaten legal action. In the same week that Fox's Brian Kilmeade suggested killing all homeless people, it's Kimmel making one of the most innocuous jokes possible that was apparently enough to get his show kicked off the air.
I forgot all about that. He is so right. He brings up an amazing point right here. Yes. Yo, Brian Kimmel said to assassinate. I just could not believe. He was like, what's the point? He's like, and nobody checked him. I would have been like, yeah, I don't know. I mean, we could just put him in jail or something. But I don't think we need to if you're making the point, right? Of what to do. But I didn't know that murder was an option simply because you're homeless. What is happening? Mind you, MAGA used to make so much fun of places like Canada that had human euthanasia policies and stuff. What is happening? Is everybody drinking the same cocktail in MAGA?
Of course, the reality is that segment was innocuous, but the point is that it wasn't about the segment. It was about the government looking for any excuse, any justification, any pretext to silence and censor its opponents. And that's a point that the FCC's Brendan Carr was clear about here.
But frankly, when you see stuff like this, I mean, look, we can do this the easy way or the hard way. These companies can find ways to change conduct, to take action, frankly, on Kimmel, or, there's going to be additional work for the FCC. Again, there's actions that we can take on licensed broadcasters. And frankly, I think that it's really sort of past time that a lot of these licensed broadcasters themselves push back on Comcast and Disney and say, listen, we are going to preempt. We are not going to run Kimmel anymore until you straighten this out, because we licensed broadcaster are running the possibility of fines or license revocations from the FCC if we continue to run content that ends up being a pattern of news distortion.
Think about that language for a second. We can do this the easy way or the hard way. That's not regulatory oversight. That's extortion. That is a federal official threatening a media company with government retaliation unless they silence a critic of the president. And for those who still don't understand, let me translate that from bureaucrat speak. Nice broadcast license you have there. Be a real shame if something happened to it. But what's worse, this isn't an isolated incident. It is a very, very clear pattern. Just weeks ago in July.
By the way, guys, if you guys like this video, please don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button and the notification bell. I want to thank everybody who came to watch the video. Let's get right back into it.
CBS canceled Stephen Colbert's Late Night in what was clearly politically motivated retaliation. Trump personally celebrated Colbert's cancellation, writing on Truth Social, "I absolutely love that Colbert got fired. His talent was even less than his ratings. I hear Jimmy Kimmel is next." And guess what? That is exactly what happened. The Trump administration is systematically targeting anyone who dares criticize them, and they're using the Charlie Kirk assassination as a justification. Trump was clear enough about that even when he posted, "Great news for America. The ratings challenge Jimmy Kimmel show is canceled. Congratulations to ABC for finally having the courage to do what had to be done. Kimmel has zero talent and worse ratings than even Colbert, if that's possible. That leaves Jimmy and Seth, two total losers on fake news NBC. The ratings are also horrible. Do it, NBC."
What is happening to them?
That's your
So who are we supposed to watch? Are we supposed to watch like is Benny Johnson gonna like go to late night? We're gonna watch. What is happening? You know, I wouldn't even be shocked because MAGA has a bunch of full transparency. I used to be MAGA, okay, so I know the ins and outs of it, okay, and so there's that. But you know, MAGA has a bunch of propagandists now because you know they complained about Joe Biden having the media. You know, the media was soft on Joe Biden. Now apparently they just fire people, whatever. And they have a bunch of propagandists who always go to the White House, such as like Tim Pool, Benny Johnson, the same ones. What if we looked up and Benny Johnson was doing a late night show? I wouldn't be even shocked for a second. They're talking about making PragerU take over what used to be PBS. What is happening?
Champion of free speech, Donald Trump. When Republicans spent the last decade whining, bitching, and moaning about censorship while Fox News was the biggest network on cable, and while they enjoyed massive advantages on nearly every social media platform, they weren't upset over some lack of free speech. They were upset because speech that they didn't like existed. They didn't oppose censorship. They wanted it to be wielded against their enemies. And it's not just TV hosts. Attorney General Pam Bondi said the Trump administration will be targeting hate speech.
There's free speech and then there's hate speech. And there is no place, especially now, especially after what happened to Charlie in our society.
There is plenty of places for hate speech, okay? Now listen, okay? Like, I am not, going to sit here and act like, come on, stop. This is America. These are the same people who said that there wasn't any hate speech. And to be honest, Charlie Kirk himself said there's speech, there's hate speech, there's ugly speech, but the First Amendment defends all of it. That was Charlie Kirk, the one that they're supposedly doing all of this for. That was him who said that, right? So I'm a little confused. That's because they're not doing this for Charlie Kirk, guys. I mean, let's just open our eyes and see what's really going on here.
Do you see more law enforcement going after these groups who are using hate speech and putting cuffs on people so we show them that some action is better than no action?
We will absolutely target you, go after you if you are targeting anyone with hate speech, anything. And that's across the aisle.
But here's the kicker. She's not even honoring the memory of the guy who she's purporting to honor. Charlie Kirk himself wrote in 2024, hate speech does not exist legally in America. There's ugly speech, there's gross speech, there's evil speech, and all of it is protected by the First Amendment. Keep America free. So Bondi is literally dishonoring Kirk's memory by advocating for the exact opposite of what he believed in. But it's not about the truth here. It is about exploiting any opportunity to further crack down on any dissent. Numerous people have lost their jobs for criticizing Kirk's extreme politics posthumously. An army of conservative keyboard warriors also started compiling a large-scale doxing directory of private citizens who celebrated or mocked Kirk's death online. Think about the infrastructure being built here. You have federal officials threatening media companies. You have the Attorney General advocating for targeting hate speech despite the First Amendment. You have organized campaigns to get people fired for their political opinions. And you have the FCC wielding broadcast licenses as weapons against critical coverage. This is how democracies die. Not with jackbooted thugs marching in the streets, although don't worry, we've got that too, but with regulatory capture, economic pressure, and the systematic intimidation of dissenting voices.
He's right. Like, I can't even be mad at, he's right. I mean, this is crazy. I think I have no words for it. I couldn't believe when I heard that, because I was said, and here's another thing, they're going after Ilhan Omar. Nancy Mace's absolutely lost her mind. She's going after Ilhan Omar, saying, she's radical Islam, and she made horrible comments about the death of Charlie Kirk. No, she did not. She says she like her thoughts go out to, the wife and the children. She said all of that. She said it was sad, and then she went and talked about the things he used to say. Why are people not allowed to remember that? This is so Make America Great Again. I'm so excited. Let's go. Let's go. Golden age. I'll see you guys at the next one. Bye.